Hey YouTube, this is Jaden coming at you with an updated deck profile. As you know, set 8 was just recently released, which was the Blue Storm Armada set, which is mainly focused on Aqua Force, and as said in a previous video that I believe I just posted, I will have my Maelstrom profile for you. I just ordered all that stuff, Maelstroms, the Basils, and the Perfect Guards, earlier today, so they will be here next week. So once I get them, I will post the deck profile. But also in set 8, there was a teensy little bit of Narukami, and we got a couple of things that was preparing us for set 9, which is set 9 comes around. The 3 main clans that will be getting boosts is the Narukami clan, which will be getting Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion the Blood, Gold Paladin, which will be receiving Platinum Ezel, and Supreme Maelstrom for Aqua Force. All 3 of those of which I'll need. So set 9 will be yet another big set for me, along now that I'm more than likely going to be picking up a Great Nature deck from my friend Clint. I'm also going to need Polaris. So I'm hoping, set 9 I'll be able to break my bad juju on the sneak peek, bad juju on my pulls. So anyway, let's talk about what I got here for you. I got an updated version of my VermillionControl deck. Now, like I said, this deck is going to change a lot once set 9 comes out, which comes out in June or July. I'm not real sure. So, but for now, this is how my Narukami deck is. I possibly will be using this in a tournament. Probably not this weekend. I'm going to stick with my Platinum Ezel deck. I want to see if I can win 2 weeks in a row with it. So, anyway, let's get into this. We'll start off obviously with the grade 0s. I still run Lizard Soldier Saishin. I'm not playing Dungarees. So then this is the next best option for me. Helps you pick off those cards that slide back. Wow, guys. Brain fart. I'm running 4 Carbuncle and 2 Molesting Genie. I know that's not what the card's called, but I'm making a reference to another video I did, so go check that out. It's our what the fuck segment. But anyway, 6 critical triggers. That's one of the main changes of the deck. If you notice from the last, I was playing 8 critical, but in this one I am playing 4 Dragon Mage and 2 of the new draw trigger. I would play 4 of this draw trigger because I think it's better. I like the artwork better than this, but I opened 2 boxes, guys, and I saw one in each. So, but hey, let's not talk about those boxes again. They were terrible. But anyway, the 6 draw trigger. I like the draw trigger in Narukami because there's really no card that we have other than Helena that allows us to draw. So this helps me thin my deck a little bit more and get to the cards that I want. And then, of course, we play, in my opinion, the coolest heal trigger in the game. Damn. Next, grade 1s. I think almost every grade lineup had a change. 4 perfects, that didn't change. 4 8K boosters, Red Rivers. Still 2 Photon Bomber Wyvern. You stick this behind your Vanguard, obviously. When your opponent is at 3 damage or more, he boosts for 10. It's really not good to run any more than 2, because he has to boost the Vanguard. Boosting a rear guard, he's only going to boost for 6. So, what I try and do is just go, the second I draw him, I try and leave the space below my Vanguard open as long as I can if I haven't used Saishin or if I slide Saishin to another column. I just go ahead and drop him. Even if he's going to be boosting for 6 for a turn or 2, eventually he's going to boost for 10. So you know. 2, Desert Gunner Rayan. The reason this is in here is mainly just a boost. Narukami really, they haven't really gotten access to all their grade 1s yet that are really good on the rear. So those are in there for filler. 2, Helna. It's the Flame of Hope Aramo, like for Kagero. It's hand correction. And then I'm playing 1 Dragon Munt Gingaku. Gingaku sounds like an Asian dish. Not meant to be a racist joke. Even though it kind of sounded like it. But anyway, his ability is, there's a grade 2 just like him, which you'll see here in a second. His ability is you counterblast 1, you put the top card of your deck into the damage zone, and in the end phase you select a card in your damage zone and you put it into the deck and reshuffle. Now, the reason I play him is the entire purpose of my VermillionControl deck, keyword Vermillion, is to get Vermillion's effect off and to nuke your opponent's front row and try and win the game. So you can use him when you're at 3 damage to get that 4th damage, so you can use his effect and then you'll heal 1 to go back to 3 damage, or you can use his effect to say you've damage checked a heal trigger and you want it back in your deck just in case. You can use his effect to just use it and get the heal trigger back in the deck, or another card. I mean, I like those cards. I didn't think I would at first, but I play tested it and I actually don't mind them. Grade 2s, 4 Thunderstorms are 10k. I cut 1 copy of Garuda. 4 is still a good number. I'm not knocking it, but the reason I cut it is, for me personally, I was just seeing him way too much. I mean, I was drawing him more than my grade 3s. So I cut down to 3, and it still works. I still see him plenty of times. I like Garuda because your opponent is going to be faced with a decision. If they Narukami, unfortunately, you do counterblast quite a bit with Vermilion and your Thunder Breaks and your starter and your Gingaku. I mean, there's a lot of and your Dragonic Death Size. There's a lot of counterblasting, and you're going to want to get access to those counterblasts and make them live again. And these cards that are damage flippers, they force your opponent to think, do I really want him to have access to more counterblasts? So even if they guard this, it still served a purpose because they're losing cards out of their hand. And if they don't guard it, then you're going to have more counterblasts to use on them. So it's a win-win. Only 2 Death Scythe. I was playing 3 in my old VermillionControl deck. I'm sorry, I love Dragonic Death Scythe. I love the card, and I loved playing it at 3. The only thing is it was cloggy. If his effect's not live, he's really pointless. So I do like riding him as my grade 2, so he serves kind of as the Blaster Blade, which is what he is, because you counterblast 2 and pop a grade 2 or less rear guard. But 2's plenty. I still see him when I want him, so that's fine. And then for my other grade 2s, I run 1 Dragon Monk Kinkaku. He's the exact same as Kingaku. You see, they're brothers, little brother, big brother. They serve the same purpose. They get that damage into the damage zone so you can limit break, and they take cards out of the damage zone and put the ones in the damage zone that you want back in the deck. For my last grade 2, I'm playing 1 Shield Blade Dragoon. The grade 2s right now for Narukami isn't at its peak yet. Now, when Set 9 comes out, I think it's called Dusty Plasma Dragon, or Dusty Dragon or something like that. It's like the Masquerade, the Burning Horn, and for Narukami. If they attack and the word Vermilion is in your Vanguard, he goes to 12. So I'm obviously going to be playing for him, but until then, I just shoved this in here. So I had another grade 2, and he's a 10k intercept. So, I mean, there is a version of this as a grade 2 where if your opponent has 3 damage, he becomes an 11k. I don't like that card. I don't know why. It just doesn't appeal to me, so that's why I played Shield Blade. It can attack and it can defend. Because realistically, the grade 2, yeah, during your turn it's going to swing for 11, but other than that, it's a 5k intercept and it's 8k, which is going to be real easy for your opponent to pick off, so I really don't see the point in playing it. For grade 3s, this is the one thing that hasn't changed. I'm still playing for Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion, since this is a VermillionControl deck. The whole point of this deck is getting his limit break off and minusing your opponent like crazy, and hope and pray they just say, you know what, fuck it, no guard, and just bam, bam, hit 2 rear guards and hopefully hit a critical trigger off your drive check. So I do very much like him. Once you get his limit break off, however, I prefer to then immediately ride into Thunderbreak. And the reason is his limit break, he'll gain 5,000 power when he attacks your opponent's Vanguard, and if you have the 10k boost behind him, he attacks for 25, which after you've used his limit break, because the way you look at it, you want to get Vermillion's limit break off once per game, and with your damage flippers and your 2 cards that are your self-damagers, that is doable. Sometimes you may get lucky and be able to get it off 2 times. If so, power to you. But after I've used Vermillion's skill, and I know that I've decided at that point I'm probably not going to get back to it that game, I like to ride into Thunderbreak because I can attack for 25. And then, you know, my other 3 Vermilions that may be in my hand or the deck, they're 11k rear guards, so they can just be stuck on the rear guard and be powered up by triggers and try and stick an 8k behind them, and you have a 19 column. So Vermilion is a good card, but once after he's one of my favorite cards in the game, but after you use his limit break, I prefer to ride into Thunderbreak just so you can get to the 25, because even if you have the 10k boost behind him and you use his limit break, that's only 23, so you figure 25, you know, I mean, because when you're trying to go for game, you want to get as much power into your Vanguard attacking theirs as possible. So after you have used Vermilion to kind of deplete your opponent's resources, you can ride into this and send even more power at your opponent, and you're thinking, what, it's just 2,000 power? Well, when Vermilion's not limit break to be 21, so it's only 4,000 more power, it makes a difference, guys. It really does. So maybe I should make a video on that, you know, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 points matter. But anyway, that's the deck. This is the up-to-date version of my VermillionControl deck. Like I said, I love this deck. Narukami was a deck I really wanted to build, mainly because if you've watched my top 10 favorite cards, you'll see that Vermilion is on there. I just love the artwork, and I like being able... I just love this deck. I have a friend at my locals named Doss, and he said something along the lines of, all the Narukami clan does is fuck up people's plans, and that's exactly what it does. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me what you think of the updated profile. And hope you enjoyed it. See you guys later.